Welcome. Thank you for joining us for our program. My name is Helen Liu, and I'm the Programming and Partnerships Manager at Carey Library. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to thank the Carey Library Foundation. Their support enables us to bring programs like today's event to you. I would also like to thank the public libraries in Ashland, Bedford, Belmont, Beverly, Groton, and Needham for partnering with us on this program. Today, Jennifer Hay will talk about AI wellness, empower your mind and body with innovative AI tools. This program is being recorded and will be posted to the library's YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please submit them to the Q&A or chat, and Jennifer will answer them at the end of the program. Last year, Jennifer presented two programs for Ashland Public Library on the topic of unleashing your potential with AI technology, igniting productivity, creativity, and wellness, part 1 and 2. You can view recordings of these programs on our YouTube channel, which is linked directly to Ashland Public Library's recordings. The Carey Library series with Jennifer takes a deeper dive into these tools. Please join us again on April 18th and May 23rd for more programs in this AI series. Now I'd like to introduce our speaker. Jennifer Hay is a visionary tech entrepreneur known for her expertise in web design and development, particularly in the nonprofits, libraries, education, arts, and higher education industries. She has experience working on complex web design and usability projects for notable organizations such as Smith College, Museum of Fine Arts Boston, Boston Arts Academy, Newton Free Library, and the Harvard NASA data system. With a passion for solving real-world problems, she leverages cutting-edge technologies to make a creative and impactful difference. As the founder of WebGlow AI, Jennifer's inspirational leadership propels the company's mission to empower diverse communities, encouraging them to pursue greater technological achievements and creating a lasting impact. Welcome, Jennifer. We're very excited to get started.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to give this presentation today, and I just want to thank the Cary Public Library for inviting me to speak in the second part of the series, which is about AI wellness. And I'm so excited because wellness has been a topic that I've been really passionate about throughout my career. And so it's really exciting for me to do a deep dive into finding AI tools that help everyone achieve both wellness for your mind and your body. All right, a little bit about myself. Like Helen said, I have 15 years of experience working as a web designer for higher ed libraries, art institutions, and nonprofits. I have experience teaching complex technology classes to both students and librarians. And then I founded a company called WebGlow AI, where we help students use AI tools to improve like their workflows and in just in their lives in general. And then we also offer complex web design services. So a little bit more about my company. If you want to look us up online, we're at webglowai.com. Like I said, we offer AI assistance, tools consulting. We just started doing some more AI professional development workshops that are geared towards businesses, nonprofits, and libraries. And then we also offer premium web design services. So to kind of jump into this, my question that I want to ask everyone is, do you associate technology with wellness? And the truth is, I think most people, when they think about technology, they actually may not associate it very much with wellness. When I think about wellness myself, I typically think about unplugging or getting away, like going off into a cabin in the woods, let's say, and just kind of like being technology free. And I think it's important to think about this because the truth is it can feel a little counterproductive or counterintuitive to think about using AI tools, particularly for wellness. AI tools and AI in general can lead to things that are sort of anti-wellness. So we can think about it like if we think about toxic productivity, which is, being productive to the point where it's going against your like mental health or what you're actually capable of producing. AI can lend itself to that. Another thing about AI that can be stressful and just about technology in general is that there is an unreliability there. So for instance, maybe I go onto ChatGPT and I'm trying to use it, and that day it crashes or I can't even use it. So that unreliability part can be stressful. Another thing about AI that's interesting is that there is a tendency to have the AI tools give you inaccurate information. There can also be a tendency for information overload, which can be stressful. And then all technologies can have some addictive qualities. And I do kind of see that with AI. Despite the fact that technology can give negative effects on everyone's mental health, we are today going to explore some AI tools that hopefully can lead to better mental health, clarity, and wellness. In this topic, though, there's actually he's a computer scientist named Cal Newport, and he does a lot of work on, it's called digital minimalism. And so I linked to his website. I do think it's interesting to explore, even in the realm of AI, how can we use these tools intentionally? How could we strive towards maybe like some minimalism? And I can tell you in my own life, I have found that I am the most productive and the most happy when I'm using just a small amount of AI tools that I have sort of fallen in love with, and I don't like oversaturate myself with tools. And of course, I use a lot of tools and experiment and do a lot of research for these talks, but it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily integrating them all into my own workflow, because then I would start becoming overwhelmed and less productive. So I think it's important to kind of think about that as you're using AI in your life and striving more for wellness. So we're going to do a quick introduction. Some of this is a review that we talked about, AI in general, and we talked about it last time. So I'll go over some of this, fairly quickly. And then there are some slides on here that are new that I thought were really important, so I have included them. So a basic definition of AI is that artificial intelligence leverages computers and machines to mimic the problem solving and decision-making capabilities of the human mind. So basically what's going on here is AI is like a computer program that somebody designed, and it has problem solving and decision-making capabilities that are sort of like the way that a human might be able to problem solve or decision make, but it's a loose imitation of that. Some examples that people are really tend to be familiar with are self-driving cars, natural language processing, which is basically means that there could be some AI built into a system where it's translating from one language to another. There is some AI built into online shopping, although you may not be aware of it. So that would be what we call invisible AI. And then we're seeing more and more AI being integrated into social media, which again might be another form of invisible AI because maybe you weren't aware of it. And how that looks with online shopping and social media is that you are being fed information that the AI thinks you would be interested in. So I'm going to talk briefly about this general versus narrow AI. General AI, way of thinking about it is if you think about a robot that is very, very human in its intelligence, and it has like some self-consciousness, it's able to transfer learning, has a lot of creativity, might even have ethical and moral decision-making abilities. This is the kind of AI that we sometimes think about when we think of like sci-fi. Right now, the AI tools that will be exploring are not in this world of general AI. They are more limited, and so this is what we would call narrow AI. Basically, in narrow AI, we are able to perform a task and we're able to perform it well, but it's a very, very specific narrow task. And just so people are aware, although it can feel like a human created it, or it can feel very human-like in its ability, there is no human there. This is strictly computer programming. And so it doesn't have consciousness, doesn't have self-awareness, it's not able to make ethical judgments, it has a limited amount of creativity, so on and so forth. I believe the more that people experiment and practice using AI, the more you will be able to grasp this, that these AI tools are able to do a good job with a limited, narrow task. And then we also see if we give AI a broader task, for instance, we are on a tool where we're trying to build like a website or a presentation the AI is going to struggle with that more. And what that's going to look like is it might give you like a loose outline, and that's going to be heavily dependent on a person to go in and make a lot more edits and changes because the AI tool itself is just not going to be able to do such a broad task yet. Although, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, that could change. But this is the world that we're in right now. So the last time we talked about how this AI technology work, I gave this example of a dog door. Today, I decided to do something a little bit different. Um, this is actually from a website called Weka, and they basically describe AI as AI technology processes and analyzes data using algorithms and computational models. These tools allow the system to recognize patterns and make decisions or predictions. So basically, what we did in order to create this AI is we used a data set. We developed a model. Typically, it's based on what's called a neural network. And we're having an input, which typically, in the situation of a lot of the tools we're talking about today, it could be a text input. And then the AI is learning the patterns, is able to make predictions, and it's performing tasks. And it's slowly over time getting better and better at that. All right, so what are some pros and cons of this AI technology? Some immediate pros are that it's just really efficient. It's really good at automation. It can solve some real world problems, can have some decision-making abilities. I feel like one of AI's biggest strengths, honestly, is in taking a huge amount of data and making predictions. It does a really good job with that. There can be a cost savings and there can be some creative potential, although it's typically limited. You have to remember AI is not perfect. There's a lot of concerns around this technology. There's privacy concerns, security concerns, job replacement concerns, concerns about misinformation, copyright concerns. There's definitely bias, although that typically doesn't tend to be the AI's fault. It's normally bias that is in the data set that was used to build the AI model. And then also another concern that I added this time is that the output of a lot of AI tools can be inconsistent. And that's kind of just sort of the nature of this technology, but that can be frustrating for people. I included this AI technology expectations graph because I think it's really important to talk about this right now because I've just noticed sort of the way that this graph is built, like this happening a lot. So this is a model, it's called the Gartner hype cycle. And basically what's happening here is it says that when there's a new technological innovation, expectations tend to be really, really high. And so there's sort of like 5 phases that go on. And there's tends to be like a peak of inflated expectations. I've seen this a lot with AI recently, where people kind of dive in and they're super, super excited and they have really, really high expectations. They feel like AI is going to, solve all these problems. But then what happens is that you end up in this called trough of disillusionment, where typically you realize that the technology is not as good as you thought. And honestly, that's normally because the technology isn't that advanced yet. It's going to take time for the technology to become more advanced. One thing that's been interesting for me to see with AI is that um, it's not always about the technology that's making people feel disillusionment. I think it's sometimes the copyright concerns and security issues and other things that so it's not just like somebody's using AI and then it doesn't work for them or they they get wrong information. And so it's not always that. There's been a lot of bad feelings, I think, about AI with in general, like we're talking about, job replacement concerns and security and other things. So I see that we seem to be in the peak of inflated expectations, but at the same time, I also see this trough of disillusionment a lot. My encouragement to people is that over time, AI will get better and better. And hopefully, some of the issues around copyright and privacy concerns, hopefully, over time, some of those will be addressed. So we'll actually end up in a state where AI technology will be something that will be meeting our expectations more, and it will be like a more productive tool for us. So that's, my hopeful message to people. If you're feeling disillusioned about the technology right now, Just give it some more time, and I think we'll end up at a better place. So what are some best practices for these tools? I encourage people to understand how the tool is going to work before you use it. Be very specific when writing your prompts. We recommend people do not enter sensitive or personal data into any AI tool. And that's because the AI tool itself can hold on to some of that data. It's almost like it's sort of saving it as like a copy. And so it is possible for somebody to retrieve that. And so just as a best practice, do not enter sensitive data into any AI tool. Try to have realistic expectations. No AI tool is perfect. We recommend people to test and iterate over and over and over again until they get an output that they really like. Be aware of the ethical and legal considerations of the content you're producing. Um, be intentional about the amount of content you create. AI creates a lot of content really fast, so you don't want to be drowning in content and having that cost you time. Try to avoid AI creep, which means, you don't have to use a million different AI tools. If you want to use one tool, I do recommend ChatGPT because it can do a lot of things. And then another thing I recommend for people is if you want if the task is complex, like really complex, and you want a really, really good result, most of the time it's better to outsource to a person because remember, AI does a really good job with narrow tasks, and you might not get an amazing result. And so if you want perfection or you want near perfection, AI really might not be the route to go. So now we're going to talk about some AI tools that are really great for crafting like a personalized health plan. We're going to talk about community resources, health planning, fitness, and healthy eating. So for people who might not be aware, there's it's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And basically what they're saying here is that if you don't have like your basic physical and like safety needs met, then you can't really go higher up on the pyramid. And so I want to talk about some AI tools that can help with kind of giving basic assistance or services. One tool that I really like is called laws.com. It's a free tool that can give some basic free legal advice. And of course, people say, you need to run that advice by a lawyer if it's, something that, um, you really need accuracy. But it's kind of a good like starting point. ChatGPT is actually not that bad at finding basic community resources. There's another one tool that I like called Yes Chat AI, and it's a tool that kind of explores social work related topics. And then this is not a tool, it's just a website, but I found it really interesting. It's a website by Google, and it's basically how Google is using AI for social good. And it was really interesting because it had how they were using AI to forecast floods and wildfires and like all these really interesting things. So I decided to include it here. So here were some AI tools that I found for health I thought were interesting. A lot of these tend to be apps on your phone. One of those called Health GPT, and it's a health and social app that provides accurate and personalized healthcare information. Another one's called Medical Chat. It's designed more for healthcare professionals, but it can give more precise medical advice. Another one I found is called MindSum. It's like a conversational tool that lets you ask health questions. And it also does things for mental health related topics. Another tool I thought was really cool is called Pod AI, and it answers questions about sleep, health, and longevity. And then, of course, our like tip is to always consult with an actual medical professional or provider to verify medical information is accurate or actually appropriate for your own situation. This app I really liked. It does cost money, but I thought it was interesting and I wanted to include it on here, even though it costs money, because I think we're going to see more AI tools like this kind of coming out in this sort of space. So Welltory is a scientifically backed app that measures your stress levels by monitoring your heart rate. And I think this, it does sort of what AI does best, where it's taking that data um, from your heart rate and it's then able to make predictions and kind of give you insights on your life. to, help you make like informed decisions about your lifestyle or whatnot. But AI tends to do a really, really good job with that, being able to predict and give you insightful information based on a large amount of data. So this tool is called Sage, and there's like a free trial. Again, this is another one of those apps, and it's like a personal health assistant that gives you recommendations and sort of lifestyle choices. Another one's called Headspace. They give a free trial, and again, it's another app, and it has it acts like as a guide through it's supposed to say meditation and like focus music, and it was really, really interesting. This one I really liked a lot, and I actually have it on my installed on my browser window right now. It was really cool. It's called breathing.ai. Um, it's like there's like a Chrome extension. And basically what it does is it um gives you like break reminders and breathing reminders, but it does more than that. There's actually a little thing called colors. You would click on it, and it's claiming that different colors can help you be more productive. And so when you clicked on the colors, you could actually put a color filter on your entire website screen. So in other words, I clicked a color that was like purple, and it kind of made my entire website screen look purple. Um, and then there was another one called sounds, and there was like different types of music that could help with productivity or help you relax. So I was really, really impressed with this tool. Here are some tools that I thought were interesting for fitness. This one's called Gym Genie, and it's you can create a custom workouts, and there's gives you one free workout. Another one called Hoku is like a gym coach, and there's like a demo of it right now. Another one called Burn Bacon, which is like a personalized fitness coach, and there's a free trial. Then there's a lot of tools in this space that are for healthy, meal planning, and some of these can be really helpful. One's called Food Planet. Another one is called My Meal Plan, which does have a free version. It's like meal plans created by celebrity chefs, but it's supposed to be custom and personalized to you. This one that I try is called Meal Mind, and I really liked it. It basically, I signed up for an account, and then I answered a series of questions, and then it gave me a meal plan. It gave me a meal plan for every single day of the week. And so here's an example of the meal plan it gave for me. And I actually was really impressed because it was asking me questions like what were my goals, what kind of food did I like, or what were my food allergies, and then it produced this meal plan for me. And it also asked me questions like, do you want to just maintain your weight? Do you want to lose weight? Things like that. So now we have some really fun tools for journaling. Um, this one called Mindsira is an AI tool that's for journaling for wellness. Another one called Rosebud is marketed as like a journal that talks back to you. And so you basically journal with it to strive towards like wellness and mental health. Another tool is really cool. It's called Cascade. Um, when you journal with it, it also helps you to like organize your world, and it integrates with Notion, which I know is a really popular platform right now. Then there's another journaling tool that uses AI. It's called Apple Journal, and it's an app for your iPhone. It has AI infused journaling in it. And then another tool I found, which looks really cool, is called Jumble Journal. And it's supposed to help you gain clarity with AI infused journaling. So this tool seems really cool. It's called Mind. It's not totally out yet to the public. It's coming soon, but it's a journaling app that's designed with self-care in mind. So it looked really, really nice. Then this tool, Replica, I've been using this for a while. I just want people to know because I logged into it recently, and it sort of had this pop-up that looked like it was asking you to pay money, but you could just kind of click off of it, and you can use like Replica for free. I actually really like Replica. It's a platform where you create an avatar, and you can create the avatar to have, the look that you want, and sort of, you can like name your avatar and choose a gender if you want. And then you form a relationship, and the avatar has like there's journaling prompts, self-exploration, but then you can also use it kind of like for coaching. And so here, in the screenshot, I think I was asking my avatar, I decided to name her Libby. I was asking her about like tips for personal branding and like tips for social media, and she was giving me answers. And so this is just a really, really interesting tool that I've enjoyed using. Another tool is called Reflector, and this is an AI powered notebook app that's designed for reflection, growth, and productivity. And again, it's designed so it can like help you declutter your mind. So now we're going to move into some AI tools that are specifically for therapy and mental health coaching. This tool seems really interesting. It's called Mind Guide. Again, it's another app, but it's designed to be a personal AI counseling companion. AI Coach Bud is another app that's supposed to give like personalized motivational coaching. In this space of AI therapy tools, I notice there's a lot of tools that cost a lot of money, or I think, I don't know, like maybe it's more for like medical professionals. So it's not so easy for me to find like free tools that people could actually use right now. But I did find two that I thought were worthy of mentioning. This one's called Uper, and it's a clinically proven AI chatbot for mental health, and it's supposed to act as like sort of a therapist. Another one called Centelli. There's a free version of it, and again, it's like an AI app for mental health. Another app I found is this one called Flourish, and it's another app on your phone. It's an AI powered self therapy app designed to improve mental health and wellness. Then I found, so this tool actually is not out on the market yet. It's coming soon, but I felt really strongly about including it because I think we're going to see more tools like this come out that are using AI technology and they're more advanced. So this is a tool that's being designed for art therapy. And basically what's going on here is it's different brushes and different painting tools that people can use. And it's actually able to give some sort of like emotional analysis back um, to the, patient. So in other words, like let's say you're drawing a picture, it could say, oh, maybe like we think you're angry or we think you're this or we think you're that. And kind of like aid in sort of like more of a therapeutic process. And so this particular cool tool is called Deep Think. And I found like a YouTube video that kind of explains what's going on here. And like we're seeing more tools like this um, that could be used like, in a more like deeper sense for therapy. Not just like art therapy, but also like other different types of therapies. And some of them are not out yet, or some of them are probably going to be coming soon and cost money. But I feel like it's worth mentioning that we're seeing this as like a trend more and more, these more sophisticated AI tools for therapeutic reasons. Um, then along the lines of this, AI using AI for art therapy, if somebody was interested in trying to use AI for therapeutic reasons, like right now, a tool that you might want to try is AutoDraw. It's a tool that's created by Google. And basically what happens is you can do like a simple doodle and it uses AI to turn the simple doodle into like an actual real drawing. I think it's actually a good tool to demo to show AI because sometimes it doesn't work the way you think. And so it's good to show that AI is not perfect. Another tool that could be used potentially for AI art therapy is just Midjourney. It's one of the best image generators that's out there right now. And it was developed originally more like in the sci-fi world. And so it can have some really cool like fantasy like drawings. Another tool I would recommend is Canvas by NVIDIA. It basically turns like simple brush strokes into like landscape drawings and more sophisticated images. And so that might be an interesting thing to try. So I know wellness can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And so here's sort of like miscellaneous tools that I was thinking about that people might be interested in for wellness. There's a lot of tools around like the whole gardening genre. One that I really like is called AI Garden Planner. And basically kind of plans out a garden like that you would be interested in based on like the way you answer certain questions. There's another tool called Go Jauntly, which is a way for you to basically find like garden paths that are more like in nature. So it just seemed like a lot of fun. And they have like walking challenges. So I know that horoscopes and that whole um, using astrology isn't for everyone, but there are tools in that realm. A tool that I found, which is supposed to be more, I think, geared towards grief, but it's called Seance AI, and it's a way people can talk to um, long lost friends and family members, and there could be like therapy aspect there if you're like struggling with grief. There's another tool that's called Vedic GPT, um, and it's used like for personalized horoscopes. Another one along the same lines called Ask the Oracle, and it does more like with dream interpretation. Another tool I found, which I thought was really interesting, was called Earth.atmo, and I think it's supposed to be short for atmosphere, maybe. Um, but it's really interesting. It's actually, I did a screenshot of it. It's this, picture that looks like the Earth. Basically, it's AI infused weather forecasts. And so it was really interesting. And I know sometimes the weather can affect people's moods. Um, and then another tool I wanted to include here, because I know reading can affect a lot of people, their mental health, is this one that's called Sona. I really love it. It uses AI to help you find your next favorite book. And I just really enjoyed this one. So now we're going to talk about a couple of projects that I think people could do for wellness. This first project is basically just using ChatGPT, and I'm talking about the free version, which is ChatGPT 3. You can ask ChatGPT to create daily journaling prompts for you, and you can choose like what topics, and it totally will do that. And then you can write, the answers in a digital journal or just, in a physical book. So just to show an as example, I asked ChatGPT for daily journaling prompts. And then it gave me a list, and it was everything from like gratitude to mindfulness to like self-care. Another AI project for wellness is to create a vision board. I know this, vision board, in case you're not familiar with, it tends to be that you make some sort of a collage and it's sort of a vision that you have for the future. Um, these vision boards I actually created with Midjourney. I just kind of told Midjourney what I was thinking about, and I used the word vision board. But you can also create a vision board using an AI image generator like Midjourney and pairing it with just any type of whiteboard. In this instance, I used Canva. Um, and then you could actually like cut the pictures out and make a collage. Here's a digital collage that I made, just to kind of show an example here. And this one, I was thinking about this presentation mixed with like wellness and technology and kind of what that meant for me. So I used some images. Um, I created almost all these images on Midjourney. And then this sort of collage with all the graphics was from Canva. And it was the free version of Canva. So then I wanted to include some free AI tools, like some directories and some resources. There's a really interesting article from Texas Technologies Library, and it's like an AI guide, and they give a lot of really great resources, and including some tools that are really great for research. And then they also give some um, information that's a little bit more sophisticated with like copyright. This Top AI Tools is a website that I've used for a really long time. And it's like a directory, and it has ways that the AI is sorted out into different categories. So it's a really great place to find different AI tools by categories. The largest AI directory right now for AI tools is Futurepedia. Another one that I really like is called Future Tools. And then Makescene has an article about different AI tools you can use right now. And this is actually geared towards like makerspaces. So if you were in a situation where, let's say you were a teacher, um, or you actually like running a makerspace and you wanted some AI tools people could actually use to like get their hands dirty with it, you might want to check out this article. And then two free AI classes that I really like that are online are elements of AI. And that actually takes you through like an introduction of AI. And then if you keep going, you can actually build your own AI using Python. And then Andrew Ng does a really fantastic course on Coursera that's free. It's called AI for Everyone. And that talks a little bit more about how AIs are actually engineered and how AI teams build AI tools. And they talk a lot about kind of the ethics behind the engineers building those tools. Another tool that I thought was really fantastic is there's a website called There's an AI for That. And it's a free tool that lets you search for AI tools. So on this website, I searched for design thinking, and then all of these tools popped up. Um, some of the tools, cost money, and some of them might not actually even be working, but it's kind of a really, I think, productive way to find a tool. If there's something that you're thinking about and you don't really know if it exists, I would recommend going on this website. So I'm going to finish with a quote. This is by Ariana Huffington. She says, "We need to learn to use technology in a way that promotes mindfulness and balance rather than mindlessness and addiction." And of course, I agree with this. I feel that we already live in a really tech saturated world. And so I'm constantly trying to figure out ways that I can utilize technology, particularly AI, in my life where I can strive for, being a more like mindful and productive space. And so, of course, I wholeheartedly agree with this quote. So now we're going to open it up for the Q&A. And I also wanted to just say that if you want, you might not have a question specifically about AI or any of these tools. If you want to share an AI tool that you love, if you want to talk about any of your experiences with AI, both positive and negative, um, please feel free to share your comments, your questions, anything. I really, really always love the Q&A part of all these presentations because I feel like I learned so much. So please, feel free to speak up.
Great, thank you, Jennifer, for
Yeah,
sharing all of these great tools and resources. And while people are thinking about their questions, I was just wondering, since you
yeah.
use the meal mind, do you happen to know if you're able to ask it more specifically to develop meal planning for, like if you say you had high cholesterol or hypertension or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if MealMind does that, but there's definitely tools on the market that do for sure. And actually, I think you can do that with ChatGPT and get pretty good results. Um, and actually, that's probably what I would do. And then there are tools in that area and in a lot of, the health area where you can get more specific, but sometimes those are the tools that cost you money because that's kind of like the payoff. Um, I don't remember when I was on MealMind that it could get that specific. I believe the questions were like more generalized. Um, but yeah, and then the other thing too is like if you want to just try a free tool and ask a more specific question like cholesterol, I actually would recommend trying just going on ChatGPT and asking it because sometimes it does a really good job with that stuff. And another thing to keep in mind, just for people to be aware of, a lot of the tools actually are based off of the same model that ChatGPT is run off of. And so that's why um some people argue, like if there's one tool to kind of have in your AI toolbox, go with ChatGPT because a lot of the tools that are out there are probably based off that model anyways.
Great, that's good to know. We have a lot
Yeah.
of wonderful comments. Thank you, most informative. Thank you, Jennifer, always very informative. Great presentation. And Amanda says, thank you so much, Jennifer. You had a little bit of everything. Any suggestions for someone looking to figure out the best small business or new career path to pursue?
Oh wow. So yeah, it's so interesting that, well, I mean, first of all, like as far as AI goes, for that kind of question, I would say, like, if somebody wanted to explore more career development using I would probably turn to an AI assistant. Because like you could ask, Replica or use ChatGPT for like career exploration, like that type of stuff. For myself personally, I actually do a lot of work for myself in that space. Um, as I became an entrepreneur, I realized I had to learn more about business. And so there's one YouTube video that really, really struck me where I can't remember his name right now, but it's a um I think the show is called Shark Tank, and it's one of the entrepreneurs is on Shark Tank, and they were interviewing him, and he was talking about how um somebody asked him the question, if there was one business that you would do right now, what would it be? And he gave a couple of examples, but the one example that I remember him saying was he said, um, a business model that would work really well right now would be to do something where you would be helping other businesses um, learn how to utilize, particularly ChatGPT, better in their own business. And the reason being is because ChatGPT has updates like every week, and it's really hard to keep up with that. So that's one area. There's other areas though that I feel like are really growing. One area that I see a lot of growth in for business is actually in like the special education, like autism. And so I would just recommend um, going on, there's like there's lots of really awesome podcasts, and I find a lot of helpful information about business and jobs on YouTube, searching. And so I might have to think about it a little bit more and um to get back like to you like on more like specific resources. But this is actually an area that I do a lot of research in myself. Um, just because I'm really interested in business and trying to explore, that how to be successful in business.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
So if aren't any more questions, want to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all of these resources and tools. Thank you all for joining us. And thank you again, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Helen. I just wanted to let everyone know I'm so excited about next month's presentation. Like Helen said, we're doing creativity, and it's going to be awesome because creativity is an area that I've just been really, really passionate about. And so thank you all so much for showing up and asking questions. And it's just been really awesome. So just thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone.